Welcome to AI Security Ops, the podcast where we cut through the hype and explore the real-world intersection of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Each week, we examine how AI is reshaping both sides of the security landscape, not only the threats we're facing, but also the defenses that we're building. I'm Bronwen Aker, and today it's just me and Dr. Brian Fehrman here to talk to you about what researchers, security firms, and government agents are calling the most intense security concerns of this year. And this is such a broad topic. I thought I was asking a simple question. What are people worried about? And boy, did I get a whole lot of information back that I wasn't expecting. This show is brought to you by Black Hills Information Security and Anti-Siphon Training. BHIS helps organizations identify and close real-world security gaps through penetration testing, adversary emulation, purple team engagements, managed detection and response. We really are a full-service shop. Anti-Siphon Training also helps your people get better at the skills they need by delivering hands-on practitioner-led training built around real-world attacks, real-world tools, so that you and your team can apply the new skills that you need and roll on immediately. Learn more at blackhillsinfosec.com or anti-siphontraining.com. All right, Brian, we've got, God, there's so much here. I don't even know where.
There's a lot. We had to cut a bunch out because there were just simply too much to cover in a reasonable amount of time. So that is very broad topic. And I think we've got just kind of four main subjects that we'll touch on in terms of the things that seem to be people that seem to find to be a concern that might be keeping them up at night. So kicking it off with the first one is Agentic AI as a threat vector. So this is kind of a little bit of an interesting one because this can be taken a couple different ways. And you can see that in reading through some of the data that was returned here on the research, which some people view when they're talking about agentic AI as a threat vector. Some people view it through the lens of adversaries, threat actors using agentic AI to augment their activities to kind of as a task acceleration for performing attacks against companies. And certainly that is a very real risk, right? Because now they basically have extra hands to help them out without necessarily needing to enlist an army of people to go about carrying out their objectives. So that's one facet. The other lens that you can look through this at when we talk about agentic AI as a threat vector is the implementation of the agentic AI being an additional attack surface that threat actors can potentially leverage through various means, right? And so I want to talk just a little bit about that one first. So particularly there's what's called Claw Havoc campaign, in which over 1,100 malicious agent skills were planted throughout an ecosystem, and it's being called one of the largest AI supply chain attacks to date. So this is an interesting one. Bronwen, do you know what
we're talking? Almost 1,200 malicious agent skills. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe not everybody knows what is meant when somebody says an agentic skill. Can we break that down just very briefly for people?
Yeah, so a skill is it's kind of like a game plan, I would say, almost like a behavioral outline that you would give to an agent.
A recipe,
there are different
maybe?
ways. What's that?
A recipe, maybe?
Yeah. I think a recipe. I think that's a great analogy for it. Because even when you look at it, it almost reads like kind of a recipe of like, hey, this is who you are, and these are the tasks that I would like for you to carry out. Here are the parameters of that task and how it should be getting from point A to point B. When I say it, I mean the agent. And there are different ways that these are implemented. So with Claude skills, for instance, they are in like a TypeScript format, which is what they chose to use, which is kind of strange. I'm sure there was a reason behind it, but it was a little bit weird having a TypeScript as the designated format. But yeah.
So again, for people who are not familiar with how agentic AIs work, when you teach them a new skill, it can be something as simple as this is how you create a Word doc. This is how you create this type of output file, or it can be a more complex progression of do this, then do this, then do this. So the idea of Claw Havoc having nearly 1,200 individual agentic skills, that's pretty intense. So, yeah, I'm not sure where you wanted me to go with that, but I know that there are a lot of people who aren't quite as savvy about AI as we are in this room. So I wanted to make sure that got broken down for the full impact. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then, the implication there is that if someone can implant a malicious skill or modify a skill that's already existing, then you're changing the behavior of the agent, right? You essentially have a level of control over what the agent is or isn't going to do. It's almost, it's kind of similar to like an RCE vulnerability, but through agentic coding, depending on what it has access to.
And this is totally separate from model poisoning, which is a completely different issue. So the ability to create or alter existing skills in an existing legitimate installation of an agentic AI and being able to add this just adds more things to look for defenders, especially if you're in an enterprise or even a small business and you're using agentic AI for something. You have to make sure that those skills remain safe and secured so that nobody who gains access into your infrastructure can alter those to do badness.
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure that if you're not using internal ones only, then also vetting and verifying any external sources where you're pulling skills from, and then additionally, it also comes down to limiting what the agent itself can do, right? So principle of least privilege, just like with any user, you don't want to give the agent free, unfettered access to do anything and everything in the environment. You want to really lock that down just to the specific use cases for that agent. And so that even if a skill were to become compromised or implanted, it kind of reduces the fallout of that attack.
It still feels like we're just saying business as usual. You want to use least privilege. You want to keep these things secured. You've got to maintain that separation. Oh, but still, the idea of those malicious skills. Wow. And that is one thing I'm seeing over and over again is that everywhere when we're talking, especially about agentic AI, and now you've got things like a plugin for Chrome to be able to leverage Claude and other agentic browsers, you don't even need to know how to use MCP to leverage agentic stuff anymore. And so the bar for the amount of knowledge necessary to engage in an attack keeps getting lower and lower and lower.
Yep. Yeah. It agreed. And that attack surface in general keeps increasing as well, too, right? With more and more people adopting the agents and daily use. So I think we're certainly going to see a lot more of these issues to come.
Oh, fun.
Yep. Let's hit on the next one here. Accelerated attack timelines. So I feel like this is a little bit related to the previous one, but we're not talking about agentic use specifically on this one. I feel like it's more of a broader scope in which you can use AI to assist in exploit creation, proof of concepts for vulnerabilities, as well as generating phishing emails. So it's estimated that around 82% of phishing emails are now generated, getting a click-through rate of 54% versus 12% for manual messages that are generated.
That's insane. I mean, well, phishing has been the bane of our existence for years. Even before I got into cybersecurity, it was horrible. But now they're getting 54% click-through rate.
That's insane.
Well, one of the things I think we've talked about before is that the rise of AI is an accelerator. All of the really big AI content generators and thought leaders always go on about how it's a force multiplier. And that's what I see when I see these numbers, is that the ability, when talking about AI, it's always about quantity and speed, not quality. And with a lot of these attacks, it's about numbers. Because if I can launch 1 million individual tiny attacks and I get a 0.01% return, that can be enough to make that engagement profitable. So now with AI, being able to launch that 1 million tiny attacks, whether it's a brute force or something else that is totally mundane, being able to do that using AI has now expanded the capabilities of attackers beyond anything that I think anyone could have dreamed of a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we protect ourselves against this? I mean, what do we do?
So that's an interesting one. So if we're talking about, on the email side, still traditional awareness training, even though it might be losing its effectiveness, I mean, it's still important to educate users that, especially in, today's age with the sophisticated AI generated emails, that always verify. I mean, just because it looks very legitimate, very tailored to you, it seems like the personality of someone you're expecting, it's still, pick up the phone, find another way to maybe validate of what's going on. We're talking about like the exploitation side. So one of the interesting points that I see here is time to exploit for vulnerabilities dropped from 63 days in 2018 to 2019 timeframe to just 5 days. And saying that AI can generate exploits for new CVEs within 15 minutes of disclosure. So
that's insane.
So very important to be monitoring your attack surface, looking for monitoring CVE disclosures that are coming out, and looking at how much you can try to automate this process yourself. So use AI on the defensive side to help discover these emerging threats and figure out how you can quickly patch up and shore up your surface to try to prevent any damage.
Yeah, if you thought it was important to watch those CVE disclosure announcements before, it's even more important now. Oh my. Yeah.
15 minutes.
5 days, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you talked about some of the ways to use side channels to verify things with email. That also touches on the next topic, which is deepfakes.
Perfect segue. Go for it.
So one of the big concerns that we've been hearing about for a while, and that is not going away, is deepfakes at industrial scale. And the human detection accuracy has apparently dropped to less than 25%. So that means that when presented with deepfake video, fewer than 25% of people can tell whether or not it's a deepfake. And we've had our own experiences. Well, you were on the panel, weren't you, where we were interviewing someone that trying to hire them, and out of 4 candidates, only one was very clearly a real human being.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the other three were questionable. One we think was fully generated. The other two were at the very least using inline translation, real time, as well as some other weird stuff going on. So,
wow.
yeah.
And in addition to the full on where you've got audio, video, and everything going on, voice cloning fraud is up 680% in just 1 year. 1 in 4 people has apparently experienced an AI voice cloning scam. This is why I don't answer my phone when strange numbers come in. And if you leave a voicemail, swipe, it's gone. Corporate deepfake fraud is currently costing $1.1 billion in the US alone as of 2025. And it's projected to be $40 billion globally by next year, by 2027. Wow. Grok had a deepfake scandal. 6,700 images per hour were being generated for fraud there. And I believe that with Grok, there was also some non-consensual shenanigans going on. And then we also have UNICEF and Interpol reporting that at least 1.2 million children disclosed having their images manipulated into explicit deepfakes in the past year. This is, I don't know where to start with this. I mean, this is just, yeah, truth is stranger than fiction. This is one of those things where I want to crawl back under my rock. Can I crawl back under my rock? Because how do we? I only get to see you a couple of times a year. How would I know that if you call me and ask me to do something that it's legitimately you?
Oh man, so I think based upon voice alone, it would be difficult. As I mentioned before, Derek had created Derek Banks, who's usually on the podcast, had created a deep fake of me, an audio, not video, but just audio. And I played it for both my wife and my mother-in-law. And granted, this was almost like a year ago now. So the technology's gotten even better. And at that time, they heard it and they couldn't believe that it was not me. I mean, it sounded just like me. I mean, to me, like I could hear like very tiny little like audio glitches, but it was more of like a technical like standpoint, not so much that it wasn't accurate to my voice. And so it'd be very difficult. I mean, you got like really best you can do is so you get a call from me, let's say you hang up and you call back, look up my number in the employee directory and call back there and just hope that someone hasn't SIM swapped me or SIM cloned me or something. But it's becoming very difficult, right?
What about other band options? I mean, yeah, the SIM swapping is pretty common these days. What else could I do?
I mean, if we have a video call, like video chat like this, you can try to get on, say, Teams and do a video call. So I've actually done that. We do that internally for certain requests. So if I send an email to our systems team with a request that's kind of, we'll say high value or high risk, high impact. There we go. They could be high impact. I got to get on a video call so they can see me. I mean, sure, if someone has compromised my account, well, I mean, that's going to be difficult at that point, right? Because they could deepfake the video, but at least it's a decent check. Because on the account, see them on video, and maybe try to look for little artifacts and stuff, or I don't know. Like, hey, snap your fingers.
Hey, do the heart thing, all of that. I also understand that organizational passphrases are becoming a viable out-of-band reality check to verify that it really is you. How exactly does that work?
So that'd be a tough one from an implementation standpoint, but I think that you'd really probably want something that gets rotated, maybe in some kind of like a secrets manager. where someone already has to do like a two-factor authentication to get to the secrets manager. So they've got their password and they've got the authentication measure on their phone. They log in and they see the specific passphrase for them for the day. And someone else can look up that same, look up in that same registry secrets manager and verify that, hey, oh, yep, you've got the correct passphrase for today.
It's almost like we're already using one-time passwords and whatnot for logging into or authenticating to digital devices. Now we're going to have to do it for our human interactions too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I wonder how long before we're just required to have, everyone has like a thumbprint reader or some other kind of biometric device reader, or you have to take like a quick little DNA swab that we put on a little thing next to our computer that validates that, that it's us. Honestly, it's probably not too far off.
I've seen in science fiction movies where they breathe on a sensor to verify that it's really them, or a thumb swipe, or they're doing thumb swipe and retinal scan.
Yeah.
Truth is stranger than fiction. All right.
Oh yeah.
Let's wrap this one up with a nice good one. I'm going to let you take this next one.
All right. So last one is prompt injection, which is broad in terms of how it can be used. But for those who don't know, prompt injection is basically trying to override instructions that were given to a model, typically trying to override the instructions that are part of the system prompt that were given to the model, which defines its behavior, what it can and can't do, what its role is, personality. But basically trying to get the model to listen to what you have to say, not what the developers or the deployers would like for it to do. And the thing is that this is one that isn't really, it's not fixable completely with the architecture of LLMs today. There's no way to fully separate out trusted from untrusted input into the model. And that's just what it is. There are different measures that people try to take to delineate that data, but there's still nothing like parameterized SQL queries, for instance, where it is 100%, that this data is good, this data is not to be trusted.
How many people do you think are surprised or will disbelieve this notion that prompt injection is always going to be a vulnerability for large language models?
I imagine it's probably hard to I guess to accept that it's something that we just can't fix. But I mean, it's similar to the social engineering aspect, right? So we can put in all the different guardrails and protections that we want. We can put in different measures to mitigate the damage for if an attack is successful. But at the end of the day, like you're just not going to be able to, you just can't fix it, at least not with the way that it's architected today.
Yeah. Well, and excuse me, you're more conversant in the nitty gritty underneath processes than I am. But my understanding is that your large language models are basically prediction engines. They're advanced autocomplete on steroids. So I can't imagine how, given the fact that it's always going to be trying to anticipate what should come next, it doesn't know right from wrong. It doesn't know true from false. It doesn't know valid from invalid. It just knows that if this was the next word 3 times out of 10 or more than that, when these words were preceding it, it's always going to predict that next word. So It's just, I'm explaining it badly, but you know what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
The thing that's throwing me is this Nature's Communications study where they're saying that large reasoning models can autonomously jailbreak other models at better than a 97% success rate.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. So pitting the AI against AI, which has come up in other implementations too, such as like with generative adversarial networks, which is basically how deepfakes work. But there's all other things that can be generated up with a generative adversarial network, or a GAN, as you'll see it. But it's still kind of a similar idea, is that you're pitting one AI against another AI and waiting until one of them learns enough information about the other to it can come up with a working solution. Essentially, is the gist of it. And it's interesting because it'd be interesting to look at some of the output and how weird it gets. Because I know that there's an attack out. It's been out for a bit from someone from Bishop Fox, Ben Lincoln, actually had created he's got some stuff out on GitHub for it, of where it's attacking open weight models, and it iterates through the prompting. And so you'll start with a prompt, it'll send it, get a response, and then it'll append on what looks like just kind of garble symbols, and just keep on trying back and forth until it finds something that works. And all it's doing is, to your point earlier, it's just taking advantage of the fact that these are just prediction engines. It doesn't even have to make sense what you send to them, because all they really see is symbols, and all they really see is numbers, actually, and try to draw relations between numbers. And it's just finding that correct combination of numbers to get the right path triggered to get the output that you're looking for.
So what do we do to protect ourselves? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, all of the news, all of the research is coming back. This is not something that can be fully resolved given the nature of the technology. What do we do?
Yeah, so there are certain things we can do to mitigate harm, which is, or try to reduce success anyways, which is doing things like putting guardrails into place. It can be basic guardrails like keyword filtering. It can be LLMs that are judging the input and the output for trying to detect if basically if it thinks prompt injection is occurring. There's also, I know that there's some research that they published, it's almost like a year ago now. I think it's called task tracking, which is basically looking at the way that the neurons, the receptrons in the LLM are activating. And when it sees certain groups that activate at a higher level in certain situations, then it can detect, oh, hey, I think something wrong is going on here. Maybe block, or at least log it and respond to it. So there's some cool research into the field of how we can work around the problem, at least, or like work with the problem, live with it, and that's in addition to all of the traditional input validation and separation of assets and systems and servers. Yep, exactly.
Wow, there's so much stuff going on, but one of the things that we should definitely do in one of the upcoming episodes is another deep dive into how defenders are using AI, because there's some interesting stuff, exciting stuff happening in that space as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that would be great. I'll certainly include that on a future episode so people can be better equipped to defend themselves.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think we hit some good points, some good topics here in this episode.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this action-packed adventure as we talk about the latest ways that AI can be used for badness. Please come back soon and keep on prompting.